Hello YouTubers, Mike here, welcome back to my channel. Now the last time I put out a rock cutting video, it was cut short by heavy thunderstorms. So I didn't get as much cutting done on my rocks I brought from my vacation out west as I would like to. I'll put a link in the upper right corner to the video where I unboxed these rocks and gave you a close-up look at them before I started cutting them up, so you can see what they look like before I started cutting them up. So there were a couple of big pieces of Arizona petrified wood. This one over here I found when I was out hiking, and I cut it up into some slabs. I cut across the grain on this one, and they're very pretty. The colors are amazing, and I still got a fairly big hunk of it here. I haven't decided what I want to do with it. And then the other one was a great big heavy piece of Arizona petrified wood I bought at a rock shop in South Dakota. Nice rainbow petrified wood. So I've got some slabs cut out of it. These I cut mostly with the grain and a couple here across the grain. And I still got a big lump of it here that I'm not quite sure what to do with. Really the only cuts I've made since the end of that last video that you haven't seen was there's a big knob of jasper here that was showing up in all my cuts on this stuff. I hope that's showing up. I can't really tell in the viewfinder. So I cut that knob of jasper off of this big lump here, and I'm really glad I did because, wow, that is amazing the way that looks. I hope that's showing up, probably. I don't know. Let's see if I can get a good focus on it. That's going to look amazing when that's polished. That's something else right there. It'll be like a great paperweight for my desk or something. Alright, so it's another day. The thunderstorms, well, they're in the forecast for today again, but they haven't started yet, so we're in the clear at the moment. I could go back to cutting some more of this stuff, or I could do some cutting on some of these smaller rocks I brought from out west. And really, my curiosity is up about what's inside these. Yeah, I'm really curious about what's inside these rocks. So I think today, before the weather goes to heck, I'm going to try cutting these up a little bit. At least some of them. The one I'm really curious about is this one here. Let me give you a close-up look at it. This is the big lump of dry head agate I bought cheap at a rock shop in Nebraska. Now, this would probably be $1,000 rock, except that it is all full of fissures, okay? And it looks like it's going to fall apart if I just sneeze on it, let alone trying to cut it with our diamond saw. So what I've done is I have pretty much infused it with super glue. Hopefully, that's why it's so shiny. That's the dried super glue on it. I'm hoping the super glue will hold it together while I try and cut some pieces off and get a look at them, because the pattern, if I can zoom in anymore, the pattern on this agate is just amazing. It's gorgeous. Pretty much everywhere it's showing, it's gorgeous. The problem is, what face do I want to cut? Well, this face, this would make a nice slab, but this is one of the more fractured faces. This would make a nice slab, but I think this is the most fractured face. This is probably the least fractured face, and it still looks pretty good. So I think I'm going to try and cut parallel to this. I'm going to try and take a piece off parallel to this face right here and see what we get. Alright? So I'm going to put this in the saw and see if I can cut it without it falling apart. I don't know. I might just be wishful thinking, but we'll give it a try. Alright, I've got that piece of dry head agate mounted in our modified Lortone lapidary saw, and if you're unfamiliar with this type of saw, I went over its features and how it works in the last video I did, so I'll put a link to that in the upper right, so you can check out the first video I've been cutting up these rocks for my vacation, where I explain the operation of the Lortone lapidary saw. So I've got this mounted in here parallel to the blade. So I'm going to crank this out to where I can get a fairly decent cut off of it. I hate taking really thick cuts off of such a beautiful rock. I'd like to be able to get a lot of cuts off of it, you know. But I'm thinking, as fractured as it is, thicker cuts are more likely to stick together. So that's probably going to be about 3/8 right there. We will see what happens. And I have cleaned up the saw a little bit. I haven't given it the really good thorough cleanup it deserves, but I got, I don't know, 5 or 6 pounds of my stepson's leavings out of it and put some more fresh mineral oil in it. It's still pretty grungy, but it's better than it was. And it's cutting nice. So we'll cut this and we'll see what we get. It's going to take about, I don't know, 20 minutes or so. Well, the cutting has begun. See what we get. Okay, the saw's gotten awfully quiet. Time to turn it off and see what we've got inside. You never know until you can open it up and look. It could be epic, it could be tragic. Let's see. It's a real Schrodinger's cat type situation here until you open the lid. Well, it came off in one piece. Oh, hey. That's nice. That's the side I infused with the super glue to hold it together, try to hold it together. This is the side of the cut. Let me get it out into the light and we'll take a close-up look at it. I think this turned out pretty good. I think I got a nice piece here. Yeah, that turned out pretty darn good. I'm liking that. That's beautiful. And I think that's going to polish up nice too. And here's the back side, the side that I put the super glue on to hold it together. But yeah, that is a nice piece of dry head agate right there. That's gorgeous. I hope it's in good focus. Let's see. It seems to be. All right. Beautiful. I wonder if I can get any more slices off of it or if it'll fall apart. So I don't know how far the super glue went into the rock, but I don't know how far the fissures go in. Maybe not too far. I'll try and get another cut. Okay, so here we are back at the saw. Pull the carriage back. Crank it out enough to see if I can get another cut off of it. Yeah, that side looks nice. Right. About the same thickness. Hopefully it'll hold together again. We'll see. Another cut. Get her started. Alright, so here's the first piece I cut, and here's the piece that I just cut just now. It finished, it held together. Looks pretty good on both sides. Not sure which side's the money side on this one. I'm kind of leaning towards this side right here. Boy, that's pretty. That is really pretty. Alright. And I want to try and get another cut, I suppose. So let's see if there's enough travel left on the carriage over here for me to get another cut out of this. Those are turning out nice. Hopefully it won't. And there's enough travel. We'll get another cut. Alright. Good. So, lid down and fire it up. See what we get. Okay, so here's the third slice I got off of it. And we're getting into an area again in the rock that's pretty heavily fractured. There's some voids there. So I'm a little reluctant to go any further. What I might need to do with this is clean the oil off of it and infuse it with some more crazy glue or paleo bond to try and hold it together. before I try and slice any more off of it. So I think I'm done slicing this one for now. I got two really nice slices out of it. And then I got this one here, which it's got a lot of voids and cracks. I mean, it's still pretty, but you know, these are the two primo pieces up here that I got. And I might be able to salvage this and get some more pieces out of it. And I could try slicing it across this way and see what's underneath this crust. I could try slicing it across this way and see what's underneath this crust. So there's a couple possibilities of how I can move forward with this rock. But I think I really need to get some more glue on it to hold it together before I try to do any more cutting. So I think I'm going to set this rock aside for now. I think my next project is going to be this rock right here. I'm really interested to see what this looks like if I cut it in a plane across here and clean this mess up. This fractured surface, clean it up. See what it looks like inside in cross section. So I'm going to see if I can get this clamped into the saw and see if I can get a good cut, shallow, just clean it up across here and see what it looks like on the inside. So I think that's going to be my next project. Okay, let's have a look, see what we got. Well, you can tell I didn't cut as deep into it as I would have liked to. Not all that interesting either, but it looks like it might be a little more interesting deeper in. Let me see if I can go a little deeper and get another cut. The carriage should move in a little further. And I think that's about as far as it's going to go, though. We'll try cutting that and see what we get. Very translucent flakes came off here. Kind of interesting. Oh yeah, I have to read a newspaper through that. Nice. Alright, let me try another cut. I might have to try a third cut and reposition the rock, because that's as far as the carriage is going to go over. Alright, let's see what we've got. Ooh, we got another very thin translucent shard here. Wow, that is like paper thin. Wow. Yeah, I could definitely read a newspaper through that. That's cool. Let's see what we got. Well, if I'm going to cut it again, I'm going to have to reposition it anyway, so I might as well pull it out and take a close-up look at it. See what it looks like. Alright? See if it's actually worth the effort. Maybe it's not even worth the effort of cutting again. I was hoping it was going to be a little more colorful inside, but we'll take a look at it. And this shard too. Okay, well, my stepson, the geologist, just came over and looked at it, and he said, well, that's an agate, for sure. It's just not a very pretty one. I was hoping when I sliced into it that it would be a little prettier on the inside, but it's not. But I'll tell you what, look at this flake that I got off of it. That is, it's paper thin on one end, and it's like a razor over here. You could practically shave with that. This stuff would be a flint knapper's dream, let me tell you. Look at that piece right there. I mean, you could butcher a rabbit with that. That is super sharp. So, this would be a flint knapper's dream. So, you know, it's not very pretty on the inside. I could try taking thin slices off and see if I get into something prettier. It looks like there might be some more banding in there. I might do that. We'll see. Or maybe save it for a flint knapper. I don't know. So anyway, I'm thinking that this is pretty much the same thing. We got like a nodule of agate here inside this matrix, and this looks like a nodule of the same stuff. In fact, it looks like it's got a crust of the same kind of matrix on it in places. So I'm thinking if I cut into this, I'm going to be pretty much the same thing. Now, I do see areas where there's color on this. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm just going to hold off on this for now. Maybe I'll put it back in the saw later and try cutting some more slices off of it, see if I get into something prettier looking. But it looks like the weather's starting to go south, so before the thunderstorms roll in, I'd like to get a cut or two on this. It's got a concavity on the bottom, so it sits pretty nice, so I think I can mount it in the saw really well, and maybe just take slices off of this knob here, because there's some bands of color there, and see what's on the inside. So I think I'm going to do that. I'm going to put this in the saw and cut it. Okay, I've got that stone, that nodule, that agate, whatever it is, in the vise here, and I'm just going to cut, just take a little cut, just cut this tip, this little knob off, and see what it looks like inside. And if it looks good, I'll take some more slices off of it. We'll see. If there's nothing really any good there, maybe I'll rotate it and cut, you know, another corner off of it, and see if there's anything good looking inside that. So we'll give it a shot. We get her closed up and started. This should be a fairly quick cut. It'll probably only take 5 or 10 minutes. Not much to cut off there. All right, contact. Okay, time to see what we got in here. Mist of oil is what we've got. Let's see here. Pull the carriage back. Not a lot of color. Here's the knob that came off. Whoops. Yeah. Well, it's got a little something in it. Let me take another bite. Just a little. This stuff seems about as tough as the last stuff, so I can probably take a pretty thin slice off of it, and we'll see what we get. Alright, I mean, there's just a tiny little bit of color there, but I mean, there's potential. There's potential. So, yeah. We'll try again and see if we get anything. Okay, that rock looks for all the world like a potato, and this looks like a slice off of a potato. But it does have some banding in it, right around here. And it's got something interesting going on right there. So, yeah, we'll take another slice and we'll see. And it seems to be, yeah, very similar. Very similar to this one. Hopefully, it'll be a little more colorful on the inside, though. Okay, so let's see what the potato's giving us this time. Well, I don't know. Yeah? Okay. Yeah, there's some interesting stuff going on in there. Another slice of the potato is getting a little better looking. Maybe I'll just take another slice. What the heck? It's fairly quick since we're not cutting through too much material. This stuff's really super strong and not fissured. I can take really thin slices off of it. That's nice. So I think we'll just take another cut. See what we get. Okay, let's see what we've got. I like these quick cuts. I was cutting those big slabs in the last video. You know, it could take a half hour, 45 minutes to do a cut. These quick cuts are nice. Okay, so I got another slice off the old potato here, and this one is pretty bland. Yeah, not a lot going on there. So I'm thinking I may want to turn the potato and cut it from a different direction and see if I can find anything interesting inside. I mean, there's patterns there, but they're subtle. They are subtle. But I'll give you a close-up look at this, but I think this is going to be the last cut for today because the weather's coming in pretty fast, plus it's getting late. Got to go fire up the barbecue pretty soon and cook some dinner. Me man, me cook with fire. Yeah. So let's take a close look at this slice. Yeah, this is definitely pretty bland. I was hoping that this pattern that we were seeing in this first and second one would expand and get more colorful, but instead, it's kind of disappeared. Rats. Okay, So maybe tomorrow I'll turn the potato and take another slice off of a different side of it and see if we can find anything interesting inside. Again though, like the last one, this stuff looks like it might be a flint knapper's dream. It's beautiful stuff. Tough. Alright. Till tomorrow. Alrighty, it's the next day. It's summer in Florida, so thunderstorms are in the forecast for every day, but probably not till this afternoon at the earliest, so I shouldn't have any trouble getting a few more cuts in on this rock, which I am laughingly calling the potato. Because it looks like a potato on the outside, and it's looking like a potato on the inside when I cut it, too. Not much to see. Although this area over here might be a little more interesting. So I'm going to turn it a little bit here, and I'm going to take some cuts on this side, because there's a lot of color here, and I'm hoping it translates to color on the inside of the potato too. I guess we'll find out, won't we? So, get this thing locked down good and tight. It's not going to move during the cut. And then let me get it lined up with the blade here. I don't want to take too much of a cut at first, but I do want to be able to see if there's anything inside this thing. So crank it out to where we're going to get a bit of a cut anyway. Lock it down. Getting good and tight. Close the lid. Okay, let's see what we've got. Hey, that looks a little more interesting. Maybe. Maybe. Okay. We'll take a close-up look at that, and I will crank the saw in, and we'll take another slice and see what it looks like. There's some interesting patterning there. It's subtle, but it's there. How much of a slice do I want to take here? Not too thick. A little bit. Alright. And we'll cut that again, and then we'll take a look at this one. So here's our other 3 potato chips that we've already cut off the old potato there. But this one down here, the newest one, yeah, that's got some pattern to it. Let me see if I can zoom in anymore. Get a better focus, maybe. Yeah. Yeah, that's got some pattern to it. It's subtle, but it's pretty. So we'll see what the next cut looks like. Alrighty, let's see what this latest slice off the old potato looks like. Maybe onto something here. Wow, yeah, we're getting some pattern now. That's a little better. We got some color in it too. A little bit. It's still subtle, but it's there. Yeah. Alright. Let me crank it over. Got one more slice. And we'll go take a look at this. Okay, so the old potato's starting to get a little more interesting on the inside. I don't think it's going to win any prizes for World's Prettiest Agate, but considering, let's see, where did I get this rock? I got this at Dave's Rock Shop in Custer, South Dakota, out of their $1 a pound miscellaneous rock bin. So, consider I only paid about $1 and change for this rock. It's not too bad. Plus I'm getting the fun of cutting it up, so it's worth it. Let's see what this next slice looks like. Okay, my bad. I just looked at this side of it. I didn't look at the other side of this chip. Yeah, okay. Now we're starting to see some banding there. Just in this area and in this area. So yeah, there was a little bit of banding there. More colorful banding. It seems to be hugging the outside of the potato. But we got some much more subtle patterning on the deeper inside here. So we'll see what this cut looks like. It could be more like this, or it could be more like this, or it could be more like that. Who knows? Okay. Let's see what we got. Well, it's interesting, but in an unimpressive way, I have to say. Maybe getting a little trace of banding over there. I might have to turn the stone again and cut this way. See if we can get into that banding over there. But really, kind of bland. I'll give you a close-up look at it. We'll figure out where to go from here. Okay, so here's the latest slice off the old potato right here. It's pretty bland on both sides. I mean, this is the best slice we got off of it so far, and it's nothing to write home about. So, have to think about where to go next. I mean, it's already in the saw, so I might as well make a couple more cuts on it. Although, while I've been sitting around waiting on this cut to finish, because they're getting longer now that the pieces are getting bigger, I was looking at the potato's brother over here. The part, or the rock I was cutting before we started cutting on the potato, and having a close-up look at it. And look what I found. Okay. See if I can zoom in on that and get it good focused for you. Yeah. We got some nice agate type banding in there. Just showing on one little corner right there. So I guess I am going to have to make some more cuts on this rock and see if I can expose that a little better. I'm thinking maybe if I take some shallow cuts parallel to this fracture, really shallow, maybe I can expose some of that. But we got the potato in the saw now, so maybe a couple more cuts on the potato would be in order. Especially since I think I see some banding on one edge. Maybe I just need to rotate it and take some more cuts. Maybe we'll try that. Okay, maybe we'll give the potato one more chance to give up something good here. Because I see some kind of banding going on over here. So maybe if I rotate it another 90 degrees, maybe we can get something good out of it. I'll tell you what though, if this cut doesn't produce anything interesting, I may be done with this rock. We may go back to the other rock. I don't know. It's kind of iffy. I don't know if it's going to produce anything or not. It's probably my best bet for now with this rock. Cut more or less parallel that edge. I'll take that heavy a cut to start with. Something more like that, I'm thinking. Alright. Just tighten down, and we'll cut it and see what we got. Okay. Your last chance, potato. Give us something good. Okay, let's see what we got. A lot of mist is what we got. Ah! Well, there's something going on there. It's not really showing up on the chip I sliced off, but yeah. Something going on there. I think I need to go in a little bit deeper and give it another cut. And we'll see what it looks like. keep it cut just a little bit. Slice it again. Okay, time to look and see what we got. Okay. We had a little bit of something going on there, but it obviously didn't go very far into the stone. Okay, so I think I am done with the potato for now. This is kind of anticlimactic. Let me get this thing out of here. I will look it over carefully and decide in the future if there's any other areas on it that I might want to try and cut. I mean, it's got a lot of color on the outside. It's just not much on the inside is the problem. Maybe across here, maybe across here. But you know what? Yeah, I think maybe across there. But you know what? I think that's going to be a project for another day, because I want to get that other rock back in here and see if I can expose some of that nice patterning I could see on the edge of it. So we'll set what's left of the potato here aside, and maybe I'll work on that another time. Let me get that other stone in here. Yeah, that potato was a profound disappointment. But yeah, the more I look at this stone very closely, the more agate-like pattern I can see. I think I want to cut through here, thin slices through there, and see what that gets me. Very thin slices, because that patterning looks like it may not go in very far. It's like the center of this stone may be about as blank as the potato. All the good stuff's out at the edge, it looks like. Let me see if I can get this in here. Get it roughly parallel to the blade here. And we'll take some thin slices off of it. Crank this back so I've got plenty of room to crank it forward. That's my air compressor starting up. I'm working on another project while this is going on. Slices off of this thing, and we'll see what they look like as we go in. I don't want to wind up cutting all that patterning off. I just want to try and expose it. So here we go. Alrighty, see what we got. Oh. Well, that's a little more interesting than what we've been seeing on this thing. Yeah. I don't know how much it's showing up to you. I guess that's about as zoomed in as I can get. I think I need to go in a little further. But yeah, it's starting to look like there might be something good there. So let me... crank this in a little further, take a thin cut. I don't want to take too much of it off, because I got a feeling, I can see some of it here now that it's wet, I got a feeling it's just a thin layer right at the outer rind. So I'm going to go in very conservatively and see what I can find. Alright, it's done. Oh. Okay. definitely getting into something good looking there. Wish I could zoom in a little tighter for you. Maybe I can get a look at it with my phone. I was thinking it was in there somewhere. It's just a matter of finding it. Yep. I think I'm going to go in just a little bit further and cut it again and see. It looks like we're getting into some really good stuff there. Or do I actually want to take a slab off? I don't know. This is kind of crumbly. It's mostly this matrix out here. Very crumbly. I don't know. I think maybe I will just go in a little bit further and cut it again. And if it looks really nice, I'll take a slab off. Yeah, so I'll just go in just a little bit further. Maybe a blade width and see how it looks. See if it's starting to get really pretty. Because I can see banding up in here, so I'm not quite into that yet, but it may extend out into here, so I don't know. Being ultra cautious. Alright, moment of truth. Let's see what we got. Yes, we're getting into some serious agony stuff there, for sure. Again, I think it's still a little further in. I'm going to take another blade width off. Being very cautious here. Don't want to cut through it. Just want to expose it. Okay. At least one more cut. Here we go. Look. Very interesting. Very interesting. I'm thinking I might want to turn the stone a little bit and cut it more at an angle like this. That's what I'm thinking right now. Try and expose that a little better. Yeah, thinking if I turn it just a little. Looks like the banding is going around like this, so I'm just getting into it up here. Like if I cut across like this, maybe I'll get into more of it without cutting off really what's already exposed. That's my theory. We'll see how well it plays out. Could be a bust. At least these cuts are quick. Okay, let's see what I've done. Yeah, that actually worked out pretty well. I just need to crank it in. Cut a little bit more off. See how that looks. Sorry, this video is getting long, I know. imagine how long it is for me. You're only seeing the part between the cuts. Okay. Check it again. I know it's getting monotonous, but alright, I think I'm going to pull this rock out and we'll take a close-up look at it and then decide what I want to do. Alright? Let's take a closer up look at this. Very interesting patterning there. But it's very thin. It's very thin. It's just a thin rind around this more or less blank nodule in the center. It's just out here on the very edge. So I don't really think I want to try going any deeper. Boy, that's... You know, you really need to look at that with a magnifying glass or a macro lens. There's a lot of fine detail in there. What I would probably need to do, whoops, sorry, kicked the camera tripod, is actually grind this on a curve to sort of follow. See how this nodule in here is curved? Because it looks like the really cute patterning is right here on the edge of the nodule. So right through the edge of the nodule. So what I would probably need to do is grind this on a curve and then polish it that way to really bring this pattern out. Trying to bring it out with the saw with straight cuts isn't going to work too good unless I do like a million different cuts, you know? So I guess I'm done with this stone for now. I don't want to ruin it. I can see where the pattern is. I can see how to get to it. I just got to figure out how to get to it. That's the problem. How am I going to cut this on a curve? I suppose if I had a real lapidary grinder I could do that, but I don't have one. So yeah, I'm going to set this stone aside for a future date. I do have some other equipment that I use for some of my other hobbies, which might come in handy for this, but I have to think about it. So yeah, so that's an interesting stone. That's a really interesting stone. I hope it's in focus. It's hard to tell on the viewfinder how well focused it is. Okay, so that turned out okay, worth the effort, I think. The potato over here turned out to be a profound disappointment. Not worth the effort, I don't think. But you know what? I paid $1 a pound for it at Dave's Rock Shop in Custer, South Dakota. In fact, that's where I got this rock too. Out of their miscellaneous rock bin. There's all kinds of stuff in there. So if you're in Custer, South Dakota, Dave's Rock Shop is worth the stop. I bought a bunch of other stuff there too, including that big piece of petrified wood right there that I cut up in the last video. So yeah, sometimes you get a winner and sometimes you get a loser. You know, it's kind of a lottery in their miscellaneous rock bin. But I haven't even cut up all the rocks I bought there. There might be more good stuff hiding in my box of rocks. So anyway, I think I'm going to bring this video to an end, since we're kind of bringing it to an end on kind of a high note. This right here, it's kind of pretty, very orange, very intricate. And in the future, I'll cut up some more rocks. I'm about to go out west again. I will stop at every rock shop I see probably and pick up some good stuff hopefully. And then I'll be back to show it to you and maybe cut into it. And sooner or later I need to do a polishing video, because I've got some nice stuff that needs polishing. I've got a lot of slices off of that pretty rock right there that need to be polished. Okay, well, thanks for watching. I hope you found this video interesting, educational, inspirational, intriguing. Give the video a thumbs up, give it a like, and subscribe to see my future videos. And check out my second channel, Electro Geek 64. Good stuff going on there too. Subscribe there. Press the little bell icon that YouTube makes you press in both places to be notified when new videos come out. As a subscriber, you will be notified when I release a new video if you press that little bell icon. And thanks again for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.